I was to record this video with my motorcycle somewhere at like different locations, but as you can see, no motorcycle because it got stolen and was deemed a write-off as of the 28th of May. Anyways, happy Pride Month! There have been loads of moral panics circulating in society, the digital world or politics or written world if we go back far enough. One of these moral panics have to do with the queer and transgender community. From this year alone, there have been countless of debates, discussions, or outright stripping the rights of LGBTQ+, with little to no further discussion. This ranges from university students debating the topic of same-sex marriages with Charlie Kirk's right-wing conservative views, continuing discussions of whether the New South Wales police force could march in the Mardi Gras with the well-known history of police brutality against the queer community, and the Trump administration banning all that is related to the LGBTQ+ community. With what had been mentioned, this is barely grazing the surface, and to top of them all would make this video worthy of a 64-part sleep playlist, and each video being 8 to 12 hours long. So, to narrow things down a bit, the topic to be covered in this video is the moral panic of Pride Month. Why had I chosen Pride Month to cover? Well, not only is it Pride Month at the time of uploading this video, and possibly those viewing it, but it is a topic that resonates with me deeply as a fellow queer and trans man. First off, what is classified as a moral panic? According to Krinsky in the Ashgate Research Companion to Moral panic is defined as a temporary public response, often caused by the exaggeration of media, policies, emotions, and reactive laws over perceived threat to society or social norms. In short, anything that is the slightest bit controversial could be defined as a moral panic. Unrelated to the topic to be discussed, the whole argument of whether pineapple belongs on pizza is considered moral panic. I argue that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of Pride Month and the moral panic that comes with it, I would like to give a brief history of the queer and transgender liberation, as it is important to acknowledge that Pride Month didn't start out of the blue and make people more aware of the general history. Pearson et al. In the Histories of Pride writes, and I paraphrase, on the 27th of June 1969, a group of New York police force raided a queer bar named the Stonewall Inn. The motives of this police force were to arrest those within the bar, as same-sex relations were illegal in America. However, the patrons and others in support of homosexuals would not allow themselves to be arrested for being themselves. Thus, a riot started for 2 days, and this is known as the Stonewall Riot. Although this is a significant marker in the history of Pride Month, more specifically in America, this source acknowledges that there have been riots and movements that happened prior or during the Stonewall Riot, both nationally in the USA as well as outside the USA. Even with this knowledge of queer liberation starting pre-1970s for the most part, it doesn't mean that the queer community suddenly gained rights from that point forward. In fact, the history of the Sydney Mardi Gras says otherwise. According to the Mardi Gras organization, it was such a hostile in Darlinghurst in 1978 when the police force used their power to harm and arrest a small group of protesters that were paying tribute to the international gay celebrations and the queer lives lost in the Stonewall Riot. Even to this day, there are still people, countries, organizations, and so much that would do anything to reduce the LGBTQ+ presence. A few notable people that the queer and transgender community lost within the past 3 years are Brianna Jai, Luke Davies, and Jesse Bernard. However, this is just a drop in the ocean. There are far more the LGBTQ+ community had lost due to hate crimes, mental health, and lack of medical care. Oftentimes, those who are people of color are far more likely to be targeted and or oppressed, though this is a topic worthy of another 8 to 10 minute long video. From the brief history I had mentioned, the oppression that comes with being LGBTQ+ is sparked from policies made by reactive laws, which comes from emotions. Likely to be hatred, as being anything that isn't cisgender and or heterosexual is considered not normal, against God, or against laws. Having said that, part of the reason why Pride Month is a moral panic is that those who celebrate it or supports it deviate from the perceived social norm that is cisgender and heterosexuality. Modern context, where queer existence is decriminalized and normalized, many people believe that Pride Month is the month to push and force the gay agenda onto others, which is not true, though I could see why some people think this, as questions like, why do the gays and mentally ill have a whole month to themselves when us straights have suffered more? What is the point of Pride Month if it's not going to convince the anti-LGBTQ+ people to be pro-LGBTQ+? There's no damn point of being out and proud of being different. And the list goes on. Thank you, personal experiences, Reddit, and those who are generally currently online as well as entertained that God has been gold for helping me create this small list of questions. Pride Month started from those who fought for their own rights during times when being out is a crime and punishable by death. It is a month to commemorate lives lost either fighting to be decriminalized or those who were unfortunate to not see the next Pride Month. Pride Month is not a month in which the LGBTQ+ are attempting to force the LGBTQ+ agendas in everybody's face in an attempt to convert people. Rather, it's a time where they could freely express themselves with minimal fear of being discriminated against, or celebrate for others that are afraid of being who they are, as well as educate others that are unaware and want to understand. So in my proposal video, my helmet wasn't shown as much because I do have quite a few decals on it, so let me show that to you guys. Here is the back side, and let me just twist it over, and there's a small sticker right here. Those are, that is my helmet video.